you said you would murder learns.
He said you would demolish them.
Sometimes you have to confuse your enemy. We have to confuse
the art of war.
We have to confuse City, so you lose one.
Let's not forget Arsenal has lost to a team that is battling relegation
in the French league.
But you yourself, you are also battling relegation. I'm not battling relegation. So just calm down.
Another episode of Naija Football Talk, and I am here once again with my co-conspirators Kolade and Bolu, and we're here to talk about the biggest action from the upcoming week. My name is Chima, in case you don't know, and today is going to be a very interesting session because why? There is an Arsenal fan here who is getting ready to be drilled and grilled, and to make sure that he sells the fact that Arsenal is going to play against Manchester City and they will not lose. He's trying to convince himself, not us. Anyway, Kolade, how are you doing?
I'm doing okay now.
Nice one.
Yeah, after that, was a setback.
Setback
indeed. You said you would murder learns.
He said you would demolish them.
Sometimes you have to confuse your enemy. We have to confuse
the art of war.
We have to confuse City, so you lose one.
Let's not forget Arsenal has lost to a team that is battling relegation
in the French league.
But you yourself, you are also battling relegation.
I'm not battling relegation.
So just calm down.
Anyway, I hope you are ready for today's show, though.
Absolutely.
All right, Bolu, thank you for coming. Thank you for joining me. At least we'll give you breathing space today.
Breathing space from a Chelsea fan. Come on now.
I've won my last 2 games.
Don't put me in that lane, bro.
Anyway, so now that we're on the topic, Arsenal Man City. It is another. Everybody is expecting another battering from for Mikel Arteta because he has not been able to get past his former Oga. Normal. The way things work in life is that the student always tries to be better than the master. That is the training that students undergo. But this student, enough he pass a master. You understand?
All he does is copy and paste.
He's literally just regurgitating what he has learned and not being original. Anyway, but now the biggest issue here is that he will be playing without Martinelli and probably without Saka. That alone is already a big problem for Arsenal. And the fact that Declan Rice is not fully fit, even though he's most likely going to start, Thomas Partey is also absent.
Thomas Partey is available.
He's available now.
100%.
Oh, that's nice.
Played in midweek.
Oh, that's nice. Awesome. And now, the issue that they are not, probably going to be playing without Saka is there. So how do you think Arsenal is going to fare against Man City, who are also without KDB and Rodri for this game?
To be fair, it's a very difficult game, and just like you pointed out, Arsenal have to first of all win the psychological game in the sense that Arteta has never beaten him as a Premier League manager, but we have the upper hand this time. We have the upper hand this time. I will explain. We have the upper hand this time because coming from last season, I think if you asked any Arsenal fan last season going into a game against City, nobody really expects anything. But right now, I tell
because
you,
people expect
Arsenal
doesn't have any upper hand. It's still City.
We have a upper hand because we've already defeated them to win the Community Shield. Psychologically, we are in a better position to take on City.
You beat them on penalties.
Exactly. It doesn't mean we beat them as well. But now when they don't have Rodri and they don't have De Bruyne as well, De Bruyne has been a thorn in Arsenal. He has scored in like the last 3 meetings between both sides, but now he's not going to be available. There is no Rodri as well, and we have Declan Rice. So there is obviously a very good chance. And speaking about Saka, I still think he's going to play. He has played the last 87 Premier League games, and
he will start and go off in the 60th minute.
Arteta has already said that he trained as well, so I still think he's going to play. Arsenal's win ratio with Saka is 60%. Without him,
doesn't really count against City, though.
He counts against. He
started against City last season.
It doesn't mean this is a new season.
It's a new season anyway. So actually, I would like to see Saka because I'm a lover of football. I'm a lover of good players. I like to see good players thrive and show their best at on the biggest stages. But without KDB, Rodri, and possibly Saka, I don't know how both teams are going to fare. But now let's look at it from Man City's angle. Yeah, no KDB, no Rodri. What do you think Guardiola will be able to do differently that he can use to trash these people's ass? Because I don't think there's a way. I'll just be honest and say it. There is no way. There is no way for Arsenal to win it, in my opinion. But what do you think Guardiola is going to do?
No KDB and Rodri. City they lost 2 games recently to Newcastle in the cup and to Wolves.
A third loss would be very weird.
Yeah, but then they won against Leipzig in midweek, so that's out of the way. So now they just need to get another result against Arsenal, which I think they can do in 90 minutes. They don't have KDB, they don't have Rodri, but they can do a job in 90 minutes against Arsenal. I mean, it's Man City we're talking about, and Pep being a tactical master that he is, I expect him to do something. And having looked at how they played against Leipzig in midweek, Rico Lewis started in midfield, even though there was Walker at right back. So Rico Lewis being in midfield shows that Pep is definitely cooking something. And,
He's cooking.
And Rico Lewis
if we should try Lewis against Arsenal, if we should try Lewis against Arsenal,
Rico Lewis happens to be Pep's he happens to be like a wild card for Pep in
what kind of wild card is that?
The first time Pep started playing,
the thing is, Pep is just he's a mad.
There's nothing about madness to play Rico Lewis against Declan Rice. Come on, what kind of? No, now just what are you saying,
the first time Pep started playing inverted fullbacks last season, he started with Rico Lewis. Yeah. Rico Lewis was the first person to do it for Pep before John Stones learned and started doing it as well. So I think Rico Lewis starting that game possibly is a sign that Pep has something planning. I mean, he has something planned up. He might start a midfield 3 of Lewis, Nunes, and Kovacic. I don't know yet, but I think that Rico Lewis starting in midweek
means that he has something
it points
because
to something.
Truly, without Rodri, unfortunately, Calvin Phillips is not that guy just yet for City. There's no KDB either. Bernardo is brilliant, but he doesn't have the profile that is needed to, play that deep role.
Bernardo does return from injury.
Exactly, and he doesn't even have that profile normally to play that deep role. If they had Gundogan, if they still had Gundogan, he could have been the one to slot into that deep role. Stones is also absent, so him trying Lewis against Leipzig could actually mean that he's cooking something. So Arsenal beware. Anyway, there is one.
He's in denial now. When it happens, he will
when
say,
it happens, my guy go shock.
He will bring up an excuse.
Come on, bro.
He will say,
I don't listen to.
Exactly.
I don't listen to.
He will say because Havertz didn't start or because Saliba was not.
We're actually beating City with Havertz already. So dead that talk. Just
beat them on penalties.
Dead that talk. We beat them. We won the trophy. Just dead the talk.
The game was over.
Dead the talk. We won them. We won the trophy ahead of them. Dead the talk. Just move on to the next. We won the community shield. You don't have a point. You don't have a point.
Anyway, so there's another player that many of them were claiming that if he had started last season against Haaland, there would have been no riot, etc. That player is William Saliba. This time around, he's going to start because he's fit. What are your in fact, let me not even ask for your honest opinions because I know you will be shameless about it.
I always
what
give my
do you
honest
think?
opinion.
Okay, Haaland versus Saliba. Who do you think will come out on top?
First of all, I think it is not.
I don't know. I will ask you. I just want to hear what he has to say.
I think it is not a William Saliba versus Haaland battle. I think it is Saliba versus City in general because because on 1v1, actually, I think if you say 1v1, Saliba has all the tools to hold Haaland down. If you look at Haaland in his past 2 or 3 games, he has not been that explosive. Yeah, I think he has blanked twice now also. So he has not really been that explosive this season. And if you are talking about player versus player form, Saliba definitely has all the tools to lock him down. But it is Saliba versus City's attack. And City's attack are just so fluid that Haaland can play literally nothing and still score a hat-trick. That's just all about it. But I think Saliba definitely has all it takes to keep Haaland quiet.
Do you think his inclusion this time around is going to make any difference?
Well, potentially it does because the way last season's game ended
was Robodin. Robodin was smiling after Haaland scored against him.
It was Robodin, but you can't just say because Arsenal have Saliba around, they'll definitely win the game because there's so many factors in that game that could contribute. Haaland, like you said, Haaland might not score, but they will still win. They still beat Leipzig 3-1 without Haaland scoring. Alvarez is in form, and they still have all these guys that can Doku is hot.
It's getting
So
better now for them.
Haaland or not, it doesn't really matter. And Haaland has not scored in the last couple of games, but we know the kind of mentality he has. We know that Haaland is definitely looking for a big goal in a big game, such as Arsenal. Haaland could come up with 2 goals against Arsenal, and everybody forgets about
all the
previous
times he
3
has
games
not
that he
scored.
hasn't scored. So it's just very dicey. It could go either way, and I just can't wait till the game starts to see who really takes the game to their opponents.
Yeah. Do you think it's going to affect the outcome of the Premier League race?
Yes, it could, depending on who wins the game. Because right now, I think City are a point ahead of Arsenal. City have lost 1 game, Arsenal haven't lost. So if City win, it would make them 4 points ahead of Arsenal.
Because as it is, the issue is not even the mathematics behind the table here. Because there is Tottenham, Liverpool, Arsenal, and City. These are the 4 genuine contenders so far this season. So do you think this Man City versus Arsenal, a win or a loss for any of them, do you think is actually going to affect the race in general?
Psychologically, I think it will. Psychologically. Okay. For example, if Arsenal beats City, psychologically it would mean a lot for Arsenal and as well as the other challengers.
Yeah, exactly.
But then it could also, we've seen City over the years, how they win their titles, they will have a poor first half of the season. So if City also lose, it could also be a turning point in the sense that they just improve from then on. So it could go either way, really. It could go either way for either team. And like I said, if City also win, Arsenal will lose their first game. It will not be 4 points ahead of us. And psychologically too, it could also boost City.
Also boost City, yeah. Okay, that's a very interesting angle to look at it from, because if you say the mathematics of things, you cannot really say after just 8 weeks that Arsenal will go ahead to win 200 points or City will go ahead to win 1 million points to top the league. But the psychological angle is very important, especially with Tottenham and Postecoglou and his team really looking.
Let's not put Tottenham too much in.
No.
They would eventually disappear before game week 15.
I still think they will fall. I still think they will fall by the wayside. But I think at the moment, right now, it's it's a fear factor that they have. That other teams are worried about, because they are racking up wins, and they're not just racking up the wins. They are racking up. Wins, many goals. They are racking up the wins at the death. You understand? Breaking teams' hearts by stealing a goal in the 95th minute and stuff. And some of the things that a lot of that teams, title challengers, are not really looking forward to. All right, so what you said is actually really a valid point, because psychologically it could affect the whole Premier League race, especially with Tottenham and Postecoglou cooking something. Them and their late wins these days, taking the steam out of a lot of title challengers. I can imagine Jurgen Klopp watching a Tottenham match, minus their VAR controversy anyway, watching a Tottenham match and believing that, these guys they've managed to drop 2 points, only for them to now see Son or Richarlison pop up with a 95th minute goal. Yeah, these are the type of events that actually affect the title race. But it's nice to witness, and let's see how it goes. But before we go on this short break to move on, look at other teams. Kolade, what is your prediction for Arsenal versus Man City?
2-1 Arsenal win.
2-1 Arsenal win.
Easy 2-1 win.
Bolu. I like this guy.
Easy 2-1 win.
What is your prediction?
3-1 Man City win.
3-1 Man City win. All right, I won't share my prediction, but I'll probably be in the comments with the rest of the NaijaFootballTalk cast, NaijaFootballTalk audience, trashing these guys when the thing finally happens. So please share your comments with us. Share your predictions with us in the comment section. When we come back, we'll be looking at some games, including those involving this guy's team. Stay with us. Welcome back to NaijaFootballTalk. In case you've forgotten, my name is Chima, and I still have Kolade and Bolu with me. We finished trashing the issue of Arsenal versus City, giving our thoughts on the game. Kolade believes that Arsenal is finally going to overcome City in the Premier League. Well, now one day something they start.
If wishes were horses.
Anyway, so now let's look at some other games that are going to also be taking place during the week. Chelsea.
Oh, you're moving to relegation site now. Brilliant. Nice one.
Finish talking
Moving
about
to
Premier League
relegation
failures.
side from Premier League title race to relegation. I like the segregation.
Anyway,
I like that
Chelsea-
segregation.
title-
Anyway,
Pretenders.
I like the segregation.
Chelsea has 2 wins on the bounce, one in the EFL Cup and one in the Premier League, and now they are going to. They are traveling to Toughmoor, one of the toughest grounds to play football.
That was under Sean Dyche.
And
Not anymore.
it still is. It still has an air of mystery. The same way grounds like St. James's Park have an air of mystery. The same way grounds like St. Mary's, the same way grounds like Anfield have an air of mystery where you don't know what to expect.
London Stadium, West Ham.
Exactly, where you really don't know what to expect when you take your team there. So you're going to Toughmoor, and you're going to face Vincent Kompany's Burnley, even though they are really not in their stride. In fact, as it stands like this, they
just won their first match of the
exactly,
season.
and as it stands, they still look like they are going to be relegated at the end of the season. So let's just talk generally. What are your thoughts about the upcoming game? What do you see happening?
I think it's a very important game for us.
Yes,
because
definitely. If you feel like don't win.
We've won 2 games back to back now with clean sheets, scoring a few goals. So the next game is, and just before the international break as well, it's a must win because that win would really 3 games on the bounce. It will really set us up after the international break to kick on and start chasing what we really want to do this season. So we have to win at Burnley anyway or the other. Even if it is 1-0, I will take it. You just have to get the job done against Burnley. And with the confidence that's slowly getting into the boys, a couple of players are finally returning from injuries. Jackson's suspension is over. Just a few things here and there. I'm confident that they can get the job done. They should be able to get
now
the job
that
done.
you mentioned Jackson, Broja is back from injury as well.
Yeah.
And now Pochettino will have the option of starting either Broja or Jackson. So, who do you think should get the start against Burnley, or do you think maybe the man should consider playing both strikers?
Well, let's look at the other win against Brighton. Jackson scored the winner. The next game against Fulham, Broja got the second goal. So now
after missing a very
clear chance. So both strikers have some confidence now. Jackson has been playing well, regardless of the misses. He has actually played pretty well. Broja played well played very well. He played pretty well as well. So I think now Pochettino has a selection headache with the strikers. But I do think personally I didn't expect Broja to start against Fulham because I felt like he wasn't fit enough to start the game yet. He only returned the previous week. He had played like 30 minutes in total, or maybe 25 before the Fulham game, and he played 60, which was very impressive. So I don't think Broja should start another match just yet. I think we should ease him in there and carefully, especially now that Jackson is available. Jackson should start. Broja getting 30 minutes here and there and continually building up his minutes.
Basically, you're looking at a situation or scenarios where Jackson starts, Broja comes in. Regardless of who Chelsea plays.
Yeah. And I also think that they should be able to play together at some point. They should be able to, because first of all, Jackson can play on the left. He has played on the left. He has played as a 10 before. And the way he even plays, he can play.
These are Chelsea spoiled careers of players, just like Albert.
The way Jackson plays, you know that he can definitely play on with another number 9 in the center. So I think
he used to play with Gerard Moreno at Villarreal, and it was something. It was something that really worked for him. He wasn't even their focal point of attack. It was always Gerard Moreno. Anyway, that's my La Liga self-talking. Anyway, let's look at Manchester United, the theatre of nightmares right now, because it's no longer the theatre of dreams. 6 losses in 10 games in all competitions, 4 in 7 in the Premier League. Again, we revisit the issue of Ten Hag's job security. Is this man going to last beyond December?
I said it 2 weeks ago, and I'll say it again. If the results continue like this, December is just going to leave. I don't see, this is the first time in history in a Premier League season that Manchester United have lost 6 out of their opening 10 games. I mean, across all competitions. It has never happened, even under David Moyes, even under OGS. talk of any bad manager they've had, it was never this terrible. And the way they are losing games is not even convincing.
It's not convincing.
And when you see the fact that Onana as well, who was supposed to raise them to another level, has been culpable in many of their defeats, especially in midweek against Galatasaray. Come on, I don't see how we last. I don't see it.
Interesting. So, what do you think are like the possible solutions to their current crisis at the moment? Changing on field anyway. I'm not talking of off the pitch. I mean, they can go and raid the Glazers' home for all I care, really. But we're talking about on field. Do you think it's a change in personnel? Do you think maybe they should give buying the goalkeeper spot and keep Onana on the bench for a while? Do you think Casemiro
50 million goalkeeper?
Ballon d'Or nominated goalkeeper.
I mean, you know, since the guy too dey chop, he dey drink goal like say in the underwater fall, where that kind of thing. Do you think it is a goalkeeper problem? Do you think Harry Maguire should be returned to the
Harry Maguire.
The king is back. Well, to
So,
be fair,
what do you think really to their on-field issues?
To be fair, I can't really think of anything that you can actually say because Ten Hag is playing on paper his best players. I mean, Man U fans have complained for him to make some changes. He did make changes. He put someone like Hannibal starting games after he scored a brilliant goal. But still, it's not bringing out results. You have players like Casemiro, who is supposed to be one of the leaders in the squad.
I would
like to point the fact that Casemiro has had more red cards in 61 games.
I would also like to point that out because as a Barcelona fan, a serious La Liga fan who watched this guy game in, game out.
I think he had only 2 red cards.
Only 2 red cards in over 300 games.
Yeah.
And he was getting away with some of the tackles that he has been getting carded for in the Premier League. And people thought that this guy was a legit guy. Anyway, I don't they see him now. Let's continue.
No, but I take away the fact that, aside the fact that Casemiro's legs are getting old,
he's 31, which dirty
for
old?
the style of play, his own style of play, his legs are aging for his style of play. Actually,
all the midfield work was doing for him.
But in a nutshell, what I think is the major problem for United is that their system is not sustainable. Even last season, when they were in quotes winning games, they were using counter attack. They never really had a sustainable system, and that's affecting them right now. So you see that they have that one odd moment where they score 2 goals, and they go again another match where they can't seem to create anything. So it's just a sustainable system right now, and I don't think Ten Hag can create that.
Well, Anthony is back now. Maybe.
Who's that? Who's that? We're talking about players here, bro. Come on.
Anyway, so they faced Brentford over the weekend. What are your thoughts on the game?
Where's the venue first?
Manchester United, Old Trafford.
Theatre of Dreams.
Nightmares.
That's a tough one because Brentford themselves, they've blown hot and cold this season. But if I'm to go with what we've seen so far, if Onana brings his usual self, I think Brentford can get a result. They can claim a draw or something, or even probably win the game.
Interesting. Well, they were the ones who opened the floor for Ten Hag last season, so let's see how it goes this time around. All right, so another match that I think is worth mentioning is Brighton versus Liverpool. Now, this is a game that everybody is going to be watching, in my opinion, because of how De Zerbi's team has played in the last few weeks. This is a manager who everybody highly rates, and now he's in a bad spot. So opinions have started changing. You know, football fans were very fickle, unfortunately, but opinions have started changing. And Liverpool is getting back to their 2019-20 self, slowly getting back to their, title challenging self. So, and last season, this game was actually a very tough game, Brighton versus Liverpool. So do you see a repeat happening in this game week, or do you see Liverpool coming away with all 3 points?
It's definitely going to be a spectacular game again. I remember the first game at Anfield last season, De Zerbi's first game, Trossard hat-trick.
My boy.
Very, very spectacular.
My boy.
Beautiful game.
Very beautiful game to watch. The second leg as well at Brighton Stadium, fantastic game. Their game in the FA Cup, fantastic. And it's always a beautiful sight to see Mitoma against
Bro,
Alexander Arnold.
bro,
Oh
he
my
they
days.
chopper like turkey.
Oh my days.
Hi.
It's nice to watch. Arnold is not even, he's never even
He's
there.
not
It's
there,
just,
man.
Liverpool have obviously-
Mitoma is always using
it's
him.
always nice to watch. It's always brilliant to watch. But I don't think, but Liverpool have obviously changed their formation since then. So
Exactly,
I don't
that I
think
was going to point
Trent will
out.
be there. So Mitoma might be coming up against Konate or Matip. But it's going to be a very good game to watch. It's going to be definitely a very good game to watch.
So yeah, Bolu has given us his general thoughts on how he thinks the game is going to go, and I also expect it truly to be a spectacular game to watch. But because of the recent happenings with Brighton on field, their bad run of form, and everything, what do you think De Zerbi needs to do to maintain that high level of performance against Liverpool?
I think it doesn't really need to do anything. Brighton developed a reputation for themselves based on their high pressing style of play. And but this time around, what I just think he needs to do is to be more cautious, because now you have two pressing teams playing against each other, battle of the press. But if you ask me, I still think Liverpool. How many teams can be better than Liverpool at pressing? I still think Liverpool will come out on top if it comes to both sides trying to beat each other at their game. So it should just be a game of Brighton taking their chances. They should not be wasteful in front of goal, and just see how they can put Liverpool at under duress early on and see how they can get a result. But on paper, the game just looks like lots of goals in it, and maybe whoever scores first should probably win the
Usually
game.
with Liverpool, it's whoever
It's
scores
first that ends up losing.
losing.
No, but I see a different story this time around. Whoever scores first will win.
All right, no wahala. Let's see how it goes, because it's a match that everybody really wants to enjoy. And speaking of Liverpool, they are still embroiled in their VAR controversy. Their last match against Tottenham, VAR issues.
VAR needs to go.
Yeah, the audio, the video, everything was released. It showed that yes, Liverpool should have been awarded that goal. Liverpool asked for a replay. The Premier League said nope, we're not giving you a replay. They're still going back and forth on the resolution to it. So let's look at VAR right now. Should I just limit it to England, because everywhere it's been shit, really? So what do you think now about VAR? What exactly is the problem with VAR from your opinion as a fan?
I think for England, the main problem is still the fact that they don't want to use this semi-offside
technology.
I don't know why. There's no reason why it shouldn't.
We already seen
They
it
cannot
with the
say
Champions
they
League
cannot say it's
and
not.
other
They cannot
leagues.
say it's money.
We shouldn't still be depending on referees to use their eyes.
They
and
can't
to
say it's
Draw
money.
lines like a 3-year-old.
let the
Come on.
Since you've
computer
already
just
gone
dictate who is
tech,
offside
do
and
it.
who is not.
Complete it.
It's just
they
very
can't
easy.
say it's
It's
money.
much easier. I think that's the next step that needs to be taken now in the Premier League. They've adjusted the rules to their credit over the last couple of years, but I think that semi-automated VAR offside rule will just make it much easier for everyone. As well as there's always been an issue I've noticed with other leagues. I think with Serie A specifically, that there's also another factor of I don't think it really matters anymore if there's a offside, because there was when they were reviewing offsides, there was always two sides to the screen. The screen of when, because the offside rule is when the ball leaves the player's legs, the kicker's legs. So there's always a screen of when the ball is actually leaving his foot, as well as when the receiver of the ball is actually going off. So it's supposed to have been two shots, but now semi-automated VAR offside makes it much easier. So I think Premier League should. I don't know why they're waiting.
All right, thank you so much for staying with us. That has been our show for today. We've looked at Arsenal City, we've looked at Chelsea's match, we've looked at Manchester United, and we've also even looked at the VAR controversy that is still making waves in all of England. And we're expecting some, solid action of football over. We're expecting some solid action of football in the coming weekend. Other leagues too are going to have some interesting matches. Make sure you at least follow some of them and don't just stick to the Premier League, because football is a beautiful sport that you need to experience to the full. Thank you so much for joining me, my guys. Thank you so much, Bolu. Thank you so much, Kolade. And I hope to do this with you some other time. And until we come your way with another beautiful episode of Naija Football Talk, my name is Chima. Stay jiggy.